Hi friends, I'm Reverend Lisa Talbot. I'm the pastor of Homer United Methodist Church, and this is my YouTube channel, Raven Fed, where we explore spiritual practices. Today is the first day of the season of Lent. On the Christian calendar, today is called Ash Wednesday, and it starts the 40-day season of Lent that leads up to Easter. Lent is traditionally a time of sacrifice, of recommitting ourselves to devotional and spiritual practices. But as someone said prior to this has been the lentiest Lent we've ever lented this past year. We have all given up so much already that I really struggle with thinking about giving up one more thing this year. And so I'm going to encourage my congregation, and I'm going to encourage you, my friends, to not give anything up for Lent, but to take something on, that will replenish your soul. We have been living through a drought. We have been fasting from so much, from friends, from family, from holidays and vacation travel, from being with the people that we love and doing things the way we used to. And I don't know about all of you, but my well is pretty dry right now. And so I was talking about this the other day with my therapist about how to replenish, how to refill that well that gets so dry. So she had me do an activity in my trusty journal to brainstorm what replenishes me, to think about those things and then think about how I could implement them. And so as I did this brainstorm, I thought about stuff like devotional time that's not spent on church work kind of devotion, but just my own personal edification. I thought about silent prayer and just silence in general, being away from screens, from my phone, from the computer, from the TV. I kind of feel media overload. And so that silent time and silent prayer. Being out in nature, which it's gorgeous and sunny today. That's not always the case in the winter here in Homer, but getting outside replenishes me. Creativity, whether that's knitting, weaving, watercolor, even things like planning are creative activities to me. Sleep, right? Sleep is replenishing. It is replenishing all the time, but it's particularly replenishing in times of stress. And time with friends and family. Virtual time, it might be on the phone or on Zoom, but spending time with people that I love. So I brainstormed this list of what replenished me, and I could go on and on with the things that replenish me. Eating healthy food, exercising regularly, drinking lots of water, taking a tea break in the afternoon. I had a huge brainstorm of the things that replenish me. But then the second step is how to implement that. And so as I considered what I wanted to take on for Lent, I decided that I wanted to take on practices that replenished me. And the best place I could start was with my morning and evening routines. I am terrible about grabbing my phone as soon as my eyes open up in the morning and checking email, checking Facebook, and end up scrolling. And I love this term that's been coined now, doom scrolling through Facebook, of just first thing in the morning ingesting just bad news and dire situations and even just the social media glitz and glamour that doesn't really reflect reality. And so I wanted to revamp my morning routine. And likewise, I'm really bad about laying in bed at night and scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or watching YouTube videos. And so I wanted to have screen-free mornings and evenings. And so when I thought about those things that replenish me, I thought about devotional time in the morning, journaling, silent prayer, and easing into my day rather than jumping straight into Gmail first thing in the morning. And so the last couple of weeks I've been working on that. I like to practice my practices before the start date so I know that I have something that I can actually keep up for the full 40 days of Lent. The same thing with my my evening routine, I thought about the creativity and the quiet and the lack of screens in the evening. And so I started a new knitting project that I could keep in bed with me. And if my hands were busy knitting, I couldn't be scrolling through Facebook. But because I still like to ease out of the day and into rest, I downloaded an audiobook to listen to, or I've listened to music some evenings while I'm knitting, or a podcast that's not gonna excite me too much, but that's gonna be kind of soothing but interesting to keep my mind occupied and help me ease into sleep. And the amazing thing is the last couple of weeks, I have slept so much better because I'm not on screens first thing in the morning and not on screens last thing in the evening. And that's going to replenish me. Right now, it just feels like a trickle. But I know that over the course of the season of Lent, if I dedicate myself to practices that replenish me, my well will be refilled. So this Lenten season, if you observe Lent, what practice will you take on to replenish you? And if you don't observe Lent, think about the next 40 days. That is an excellent amount of time to build a good habit. For this next few weeks, couple months, what can you do to help replenish yourself after this long year of drought and fasting that we've all been through? I hope that you will consider replenishment as your Lenten practice. Thanks so much for being here today. I hope that you'll like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye-bye. You want to see what's behind the curtain? Ah! That's why there's a curtain here.